Today I'm going to be showing you some basic crochet instructions. The first thing that you need to learn is how to do a slip knot. So I have my yarn in my left hand and my crochet hook in my right hand, and the first thing I'm going to do is loop my yarn around my index fingers and push a loop up through, and then I'm going to pull on my loop to tighten the knot. Okay, so I'll show you that again real quick. I've got my yarn in my left hand, I'm looping it over my two fingers, I'm pushing another loop through, and then I'm pulling on the yarn to tighten the knot. Alright, so now that we've done that, I'm going to put the slip knot on my crochet hook and I'm going to pull on the ends to tighten it. Alright, and that is the first step of any crochet project. The next thing we're going to learn is the chain stitch. So keep your tail out of the way and take your working yarn in your left hand, loop the working yarn around your crochet hook, and catching the working yarn with the hook, pull it through the existing loop. So now we have another loop on our crochet hook. We're going to loop the working yarn around the crochet hook and use the hook to pull it through. We're going to loop the working yarn around the crochet hook and then use the hook to pull it through. And now I have 3 chains on my crochet hook, which will take us into the next instruction, which is the slip stitch. Okay, so the next thing we're going to learn is the slip stitch. I have my chains on my crochet hook, and what I'm going to do now is take my crochet hook, push it through the first chain, loop my working yarn around, and then pull the working yarn through both loops on the hook. And now I've created the basis for crocheting in the round. So now we're going to learn the single crochet stitch. To start with, I have 10 chain stitches here on my crochet hook. So to do a single crochet, I'm going to put my hook into the second chain stitch from the hook. So I'm skipping the first one, I'm going into the second one. Alright, and I'm pulling my working yarn through the chain stitch, so now I have 2 loops on my hook. And I'm going to pull the working yarn through those 2 loops, and now I've done 1 crochet. So let's do that again. I'm going to go into the next chain stitch, pull my working yarn through. Now I have 2 loops. I'm going to pull my working yarn through those loops, and I've completed my second single crochet. I'm going to keep doing the same thing down the line, going into the next chain stitch, pulling my working yarn through, then pulling my working yarn through the 2 loops on the hook. Next chain stitch, working yarn through the chain stitch, working yarn through the 2 loops. So I'll keep doing that on down the line. And now I'm at the end, so I'm going to put my hook through the last chain stitch, pull my yarn through like I've been doing, pull my working yarn through the 2 loops, and now I'm going to chain 1 by pulling my working yarn through my loop, and then I'm going to turn my work. So now my work is facing the opposite way. And I'm going to insert my hook into the next single crochet, pull a loop through, and pull my working yarn through those 2 loops, okay? And I'm going to keep going on down the line again, inserting my hook into the next single crochet, pulling a loop through, and pulling the working yarn through those 2 loops. And now I'm doing a single crochet stitch. And again at the end, I'm going to go through my last single crochet, chain 1, and turn. So you can see that my work is already growing. So now we're going to learn how to finish your crochet project. As you can see, I have a small piece of single crochet work here. So as I finish up my row of single crochet, I'm going to get to the last stitch, make my single crochet, and I'm going to make sure that my loop is still open. I'm going to cut my string and loop it back through, pulling it tight. And that closes off the end of my crochet work. So now I can take a needle and loop the end of my thread back through a few of my stitches and trim that, and that is how you finish a piece of crochet. Thank you very much for joining us, and let us know if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.